Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off, presented by
Betr.
Woo! It is
early.
My mom's birthday today. Happy birthday,
happy birthday,
Lisa.
Mom.
Oh, there we go.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Lisa.
birthday, Mom.
Exciting week 4, I would say.
No, I thought it was a
actually,
dog
pretty
shit
boring
slate.
week
Yeah,
4.
yeah.
Actually, like one of the worst in recent memory.
The 1 p.m. slate was a snooze fest.
I cannot believe that I came back
I actually
early
think
from
it
a
was
Europe
all
trip for this
ass.
shit, man.
We got a lot
Yeah.
to talk about in this episode, though, regardless of whether it was ass or it was not ass. But obviously, the Jets lost.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, Pat. Hey, the Vikings 4-0. Good for them.
Vikings,
Sorry
man,
for
my
cussing.
goodness.
Hey,
But
I
hey,
saw that coming.
That's an insane one. Then the Bucks put a beat down on the Eagles. Obviously, the Bengals finally got their first win. Texans,
Good for the
Jags,
Bengals.
AFC South
Little
divisional
comeback.
matchup.
Little comeback win.
We got to start talking a little bit though about maybe the Texans aren't as good. We were a little early.
That,
on them,
and I
but-
think we need to talk about the guy who plays quarterback for the other team.
Trevor Lawrence.
Got to get into Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence.
we're
I want to talk also about Joe Flacco and the Colts. I think Joe Flacco's better than Anthony Richardson for what this team needs right
Really?
now and what can take them further. We're talking about the Niners. We're talking about Jayden Daniels. He's playing like a top 10 quarterback. Yeah. Got to talk to Rashi Rice injury. And last but not least, we got to talk what happened tonight during our live stream, the beatdown of the Buffalo Bills.
That was annoying of them to do. When's the last time that there was a matchup like this? You know, two of the best teams in their conference.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Yeah.
Sick game. Like, when was the last time it was
Niners,
just, like,
Cowboys
actually
last
delivered?
year.
No, when was the last time it just
delivered?
delivered?
I actually don't
I don't
remember.
know.
I actually don't
Like, what was the last,
recall
like, primetime
games.
game you watched and you were like, wow, what a game?
We got to think about the Chiefs. I don't know. That had been one.
I don't know. At least college football delivered for us with that Georgia
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
we could not have had a
By
great
the way,
episode.
this obviously comes out on a Monday. The Buffs won. The Canes won, which means the Dolphins likely lose. So I'm just getting ahead of that. That'll be a
Titans
fun
money
one.
line lock.
I like the Titans.
I will
without
be
your
on
Juju.
actual Dolphin Dive watching if they do lose. So just
I mean, but
condolences.
you have Snoop Huntley starting.
That's actually a great for us. I
It's a
think.
better
big
than
upgrade.
Thomas.
over
However,
Skylar
before we
Thompson.
get into it, and we are bringing back the 2-minute drill, Randy, can
we
you
are.
sit and get comfortable? You're making me nervous standing.
Yeah, bro. Our producer's standing up right now. Also, new producer. Like,
Yeah,
this
producer,
is first,
Randy.
Randy, come on this side real quick.
He's
Randy, come say
viewing in
hi.
the background.
Yeah,
right
Everyone is so
now.
used to Tycho, but we got Randy now. Randy,
We got
come
Randy.
say hi.
Tycho's still here, everybody. Tycho's
Yeah.
still.
No,
he'll-
we fired Tycho.
Tycho will still be on episodes,
We
but
did not
Randy
fire
is the lead guy now. Couldn't
Yeah.
be more happy to have Randy.
Love Randy.
How much order do you get
no
for
aura.
doing this? It's your
For asking
job.
for aura, sit the fuck back down. Randy is Gen Z. I know I'm also Gen Z, but Randy's like
Gen
in our
Z.
office. There's like a cutoff of generations, and Randy's part of the younger one.
Well, it's like 2000s babies. Like, what were you? 99?
99, baby.
That's
Come on.
it.
See, no,
wow.
the
I'm a
cutoff-
90s
2000?
kid. I'm a 90s
Oh,
kid.
that's crazy.
He's
Wait, were you like-
2001.
Oh, you're right there.
You're
Almost 2001.
Oh, you're
oh my
2000.
god,
At least
he's
he's got
almost 2001. Hey, but you were alive for 9/11, which is big time.
Hey, good. Oh, wow.
Oh, he was in New York too. You do? I don't think you could order for surviving 9/11 when you were a child,
All
not
right,
working.
before
Do you have
we
a
jump
mic? Do
into
you have a mic?
we go.
It's not on. Should I turn
It's not
Yeah.
on yet. No.
Let's get him on.
Turn
right?
it on.
You want
Turn it
you want
on.
to? Randy, you want in?
Yo, want me to?
Turn it on in case
Get
you
in,
want to.
Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn it on just in case. Just in case.
Is it plugged in, Randy?
Yeah,
Can
make
you
sure
hear yourself?
it's
Say
plugged
hi.
in.
Say hi, Randy.
What's up, brother?
Oh, yeah,
See,
Turn the mic off. Turn the mic
There we
off.
go.
Turn the mic off.
Brandon's gonna be talking. He's like, we're gonna say something about player goes. Aura.
Yeah,
That's
turn the mic off.
Randy's got. We got to be. We got to
This
be.
was a terrible
calm.
idea.
No,
My
this,
fault.
no, this is great. We need to have someone that's like part of just the brain rot community.
Yeah, we're gonna
All
go
right,
to a whole new
before
audience.
we jump into the 2-minute
He's a
drive, I want to talk
streamer.
about 1,000x payouts on Betr Picks. But tonight, it wasn't a 1,000x payout, but we did do a live sweat with someone that did a
100x.
99x.
It was 100x.
100x.
That was 100x.
Give him the
It
credit. Give him the
actually
credit.
did look like it. Well, it said 99x.
I know, but that was
because
because he was using Better Bucks.
But that was a lot of fun. We live sweat with him. He was able. What's crazy is that was his first lineup he ever put together
that's
on
insane.
Betr Picks,
Insane.
which is insane.
Here
for him to
I
hit
am.
that.
I've probably placed hundreds of
Yeah.
Better Picks lineups.
How many 100x
I don't
lineups
hit
have you
100x. I hit a lot. I hit one last year. I have hit
Yeah.
100x
Oh, that's
lineup.
crazy.
I've hit some 3Xs.
There you go,
I've
Jack.
gotten close. But hey, if you don't want to do 100x, you can do 1,000x. And Betr Picks lets you win up to 1,000 times the money all NFL season long, which is one of the highest in daily fantasy. You can turn $1 into 1,000, $10 into 10,000, $100 into how much?
100,000.
Yep, that's how it works. All you have to do is set your lineup and watch your favorite NFL players play football. So make sure to download Betr, play Betr Picks, use promo code CAPSOFF when you do.
Do it.
And let's 1,000x our money. Now,
Let's get into it.
Randy, if you hit a 1,000X lineup, what is that?
Plus 1,000 aura.
Yeah.
Jack falls into brain rot.
Oh,
whenever
Jack,
he's
by the way,
around
kind
Randy.
of loves it.
It's insane.
Dude, it's
like,
so funny.
Like
it's
Jack
so
is
funny.
a full brain rot Gen Z fucking skibbity toilet idiot whenever he's around Randy.
All right, wait. This is the
Randy
phone.
wanted to talk so bad right there. Look.
Randy, can you pull up a 2-minute clock
All right.
for us? Right? Is it?
I'll do a stopwatch and I'll stop it at 2 minutes.
No, I want
No,
a timer.
No.
I want a timer. I
It's
want.
because you got to hit that once we start. It's everything you need to know in 2 minutes or less.
I want a timer.
Of this, so we'll tell you when to start, but you also got to play it out loud because we got to know when it ends. We got to know when we try and beat it.
Yeah.
So, are we ready? We didn't do
ready.
this last week.
You have the games listed. You're
I
ready
do.
to
I
watch me
have
and
it. I'm
Jack
gonna
yelling
go off
things.
of the NFL.
All right.
Do we do Thursday Night Football? I forgot.
Yeah, we do.
Let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Randy, just give me a hand up at 30 seconds if you can. Just
Okay,
as
30
a
seconds.
Little,
All right.
little
Another 10
warning.
probably.
No, I just need 30. Just need 30.
All right, we didn't do it last week, but week 4, 2 minutes drill.
Let's get after it.
Everything you
Come on.
need to know about the
locked
NFL
in?
in week 4 in 2 minutes or less. We're just going to rip something from the plums and see what comes out. Starting off with, you got the clock starting, and 3, 2, 1. Cowboys, Giants.
Malik Neighbors is sick.
Daniel Jones didn't look terrible.
Malik's ridiculous. Broncos, Jets. Jets are
That's it.
That's all I got.
Jets are
That's all
fucking
I got.
frauds.
That's all I
dude.
got.
Vikings, Packers.
I was
Holy
wrong.
shit, dude.
I was wrong.
The Vikings might win the Super Bowl.
Let's just shut up.
I was wrong. Come on, keep
Love
going.
That. Love that. Saints, Falcons.
You were right
Close.
about the Saints.
I've been right.
Historically, I don't give a fuck about the Saints or the Falcons ever.
Young Ku's sick.
Bijan
don't care
Robinson, the
about
worst
them.
pick in fantasy drafts this year. Eagles, Bucks. I'm sorry, but the Eagles are so injury ridden, bro.
Nick
It's just-
Sirianni's got to get fucking fired.
I'm
No,
so
it's
glad
not
the Bucks are
Sirianni.
back. The Bucks are good. Bucks are good.
Bengals,
Bucks are
Panthers,
back.
Panthers. Battle of the Cats.
At
Bengals,
least
the
they're not
Cats.
0-4.
There we go, Joe Burrow. Happy for you, man.
You were close to trading T. Higgins. Jags, Texans. Trevor Lawrence. We got a
Boring
bust category.
comeback. Boring
Terrible.
comeback.
Texans aren't as good as people thought they were.
Steelers, Colts. Joe Flacco's better for the Colts right now than Anthony Richardson
That's
is. Anthony
insane.
Richardson's
Steelers
gonna
are
hold them
not
back.
winning 8 games.
They were
Pretenders.
the most fraudulent 3-0 team I've ever
Rams,
seen.
Bears.
The Bears are good for the Bears. Good for the Bears. They're just as good as the Jets, apparently.
2-2.
The Rams. The Bears would be undefeated if they had Jayden Daniels.
How about DeAndre Swift? Breakout game.
Speaking of Jayden Daniels, Commanders, Cardinals. Dude,
Jayden Daniels is him.
Oh, good right after the Bears. If I'm a Bears fan, I am freaking out that I don't have the
Pissed.
next best quarterback
Patriots,
in the NFL,
49ers.
Jayden Daniels. That game went exactly how we thought it was going to go. The
Yeah.
Well,
Patriots
Yeah.
and
Patriots
the
kind of made
Niners are
it
good.
somewhat close.
No, they didn't.
Not really.
they
Okay,
didn't.
Browns, Raiders. You got
Gardner Minshew, 2-2, 5-0,
It's time to
or
stop with
500.
Deshaun. You got to stop with Deshaun.
I was all over the Browns. I'm disappointed in them. They lost to the Raiders without Max Crosby and Devontae Adams.
That's
let
insane.
that sink in. Let that
Holy
sink in.
shit. Chiefs, Chargers.
30 seconds. 30
Oh,
seconds.
we
30
got
seconds.
time. We're
Mahomes starting slow. He always does. You'll be fine.
If you can get the Chiefs at even money when it's a live line, you better put your mortgage on it.
But Rashi Wright's done for the year. That's
yeah.
going to be
Adam,
tough.
keep going. We have
gotta
like
go, we
10
gotta go, we gotta
seconds.
go, we gotta go.
No, we have so much time. Bills, Ravens last
Oh,
game.
wow. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Take your
Good for Lamar.
time.
The Ravens found their
come with
formula. Give
me.
Derrick Henry the ball 20-plus times. He's one of the best running backs ever.
In a world of pure
Why is he singing?
imagination.
Why is he
Because we have so
singing?
much time in the world.
I know, but no one wants to hear Adam sing.
I didn't learn anything from this game, I'll be honest.
Oh, that was good
Ooh.
timing.
Wow,
that was good timing.
crazy. That we lost. That was right
No,
on
we
the
got
money.
it in.
That
We got
was
it
right
in.
there,
So
yeah.
much time, bro.
Let's go right off that game then. Let's talk Bills Ravens.
So that was
right out
the
of
week
that.
4 2-minute
Yeah.
drill. That was hectic as shit.
That was a good one.
Let's talk Bills Ravens. Let's
Can
talk
we just
that
get
quickly.
one fucking good primetime game,
just-
man?
come
For
on,
the
man.
life of us.
Why do you think it is that primetime games suck this year?
The first Sunday Night Football game was so sick.
No,
and
seriously.
then-
Like, honest question. Why do primetime games
Do
suck?
you want the actual answer?
Yes.
I mean, look at the slate today. There were 16 football games today. Maybe 3 of them were good. Odds are the primetime game isn't going to be good. Like you have one game that's on. You need that
Yeah.
one game to be the sick game. If I get one sick
tried
game in
to.
the 1 p.m. slate, I'm like, oh, dope. That game was awesome.
Yeah.
And that's 1 out of 8
But you would
games.
think Bills Ravens is that
Yes,
game.
that's different than just primetime games in general, but that's why I think we expect them to be sick because it's primetime and the lights are on and it's a national
the primetime
television.
games have been good though. The different
They had
4
been
weeks,
good
I
this
feel
year.
like.
They had been good this
Not
year.
like the actual like the matchup, not the actual production.
Yeah. Do you guys think the Bills are bad now or
No, not at all.
No.
It's just one of those like blunder games. Like, played like shit, walked through it, whatever.
I really firmly believe this, that the Ravens last year, that was their ceiling.
You say that all the time, and
I just don't.
Why?
Because I just don't see the Ravens with this play style, this ground and pound, being able to be a team that has to go into Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes if they're the 1 seed.
They almost did it.
But they did not.
Isaiah Likely's big ass foot away
But
from
they
winning.
did not. They
you-
did not.
do you think,
And that's
though-
the difference. That's
But
different
they
than
were
the
that
playoffs.
close,
But that's
Adam,
week
like-
1. I am talking about the playoffs. Who do you trust more?
Obviously
the
Pat
Chiefs.
Mahomes, yeah, but it's like any given Sunday. The same thing applies to the playoffs. Do
Yeah.
you think that they, with all this too high safety talk and how much lower passing yards are this year, do you think at all that this could be a year that you could make a deep run with the ground and pound game?
It seems like it's a different game now.
So here's what I'll say, because we were talking about this off the pod, is that I feel that the Ravens and the Bills have such a similar makeup because they're two teams that are ground and pound, want to beat you, like get in your fucking mouth and spit in it and do all that shit
okay.
and really start fast, right? Like, but what happens when they go down 14? Or what happens when they're down 10 and they need to start throwing the ball? I don't think either one of those teams, in the Bills and the Ravens, have pass catchers that they can trust right now. I don't think Zay Flowers is the guy. Mark Andrews is non-existent. Isaiah Likely had to be the superhero against the Chiefs. And then when it comes to the Bills, you have Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Keon Coleman had some catches, but I just don't trust the passing game for the Bills and the Ravens. And at the end of the day, regardless of the two high safeties, the reason I feel that the Bills and the Ravens will not get past the Chiefs when it's all said and done is because they cannot beat you with the pass. They can only beat you with the run.
What you can do when you have a ground and pound offense, though, is maintain possession, like really control the clock. And when you're playing against a prolific offense like the Chiefs, controlling possession and the clock is so important because you're just limiting the opportunities that Patrick Mahomes has to get the ball. If you have really long drives that wear out the Chiefs' defense, let's say, if it's Ravens Chiefs, and you can score effectively pretty consistently with that ground game, you're probably going to beat the Chiefs.
It is a formula that can work. It's
can
just
work.
a matter of the game staying on schedule.
But
for them.
that's my
like Adam
point.
always says,
That's
and
my
I
point.
yell at him for saying it, but it's like if they do, go 3 and out, Pat Mahomes walks down, scores a touchdown, another 3 and out, Pat Mahomes scores a touchdown. Now it's 14-0.
Yeah.
What they shouldn't be
It's harder
doing
to come
though.
back down.
Sure it is, but what Adam, you always say, like, oh, that now they have to catch up with the pass, like. They shouldn't abandon the run that early. Like you can still just go run the ball, score a touchdown, one possession game, get a stop, and now you're right back on script. It is a different circumstance if they're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter and I need Lamar Jackson to air it out, pass for 150 yards in the fourth and pass for 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it's asking a lot. But I don't think that it's like the Chiefs are this just unbeatable force at the top. They have been, but I do think the Bills and the Ravens can both easily give them a run for their money.
Yeah, I'm just, again, it's not that, I don't think it's that crazy to say that the Ravens peaked at the AFC Championship game. Like, from what I am seeing,
they peaked, bro. Like,
I think there's a decent chance that's their ceiling, and that's one of 4 teams left standing. Like, that's not that crazy. I just don't trust what I'm seeing as much on the ground. That's it. And it's a long season.
If Derrick Henry can be
Derrick Henry, yeah.
then I think they can beat anyone.
I'm just afraid, God forbid, which is what we saw in the first game. It's like the Chiefs go up 10. He's not played out of the game script. And again, good teams will stick to the ground and like be like, we're not going to overreact. We're going to, like, I could see the Bills being a team that's been around saying, all right, we're not going to abandon the run totally just yet. And that may work or may not. Todd Monken already abandoned the run in week 1. Todd Monken abandoned the run last year. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes. I don't know. Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes.
They have to.
But both teams are going to be fine.
Also like Ravens back into the top 10 in power rankings. Bills still top 5 in the power rankings.
I think they're
3.
both top 5.
Yeah.
You think Ravens are top 5?
Oh.
Is that not what you said?
I said top 10.
Top 10. I don't know if the Ravens are top 5 yet. They're 2-2.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
be
see
completely
about that.
honest.
We'll see about that.
I have no issues.
You'll get to that on.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there.
On Wednesday on the cafeteria episode.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
But it would not shock me. I do want to call out though. I mean, Derrick Henry's rushing and receiving yards was at 79.5, and obviously Nick was sweating his 99x, 100x lineup with us.
play.
Hit on the first fucking play.
that was
Did he finish with
electric.
what, like 200 something?
Derrick Henry finished with
I know he had like 190 on the ground.
199 on the ground,
And then like 2 catches.
and 209 in total.
Jeez Louise.
3 catches for 10 yards, 2
Jesus.
touchdowns. 199 is an absurd thing to put on the
Isn't
Bills.
he like 30?
Yeah, he looks sick. I don't know if you saw the shit about his diet, but
Yeah, no, I
it is
have. He
ridiculous.
doesn't
I
eat
do
fried
like
food.
I liked
Rest in
that
peace.
primetime talk though. I think primetime games might get better, but we'll see.
Can't get worse.
We started talking about the Chiefs, and I want to jump straight to the Chiefs
Okay.
because obviously the Chiefs lost a massive piece
Yeah.
of their puzzle
Sucks.
today in Rashi
Yeah.
Rice going down with the torn ACL. Any high-level thoughts with the Rashi Rice injury?
Well, they need to make a trade now, right? You can't be rolling out there with Xavier Worthy, fucking Noah Gray. Travis Kelce is not Travis Kelce anymore.
And they did it pretty much last year, even though Rashi was there.
it's different, man.
Well, he
You
also had a great game today. Once Rashi went down, he had finished with 7 catches, 89 yards.
Yeah,
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but he needs to start actually doing that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
You
kind of
need a
crazy
weapon.
when you look at it. I think on an episode 2 weeks ago, I talked about how sick the Chiefs' weapons were and how deep and how many people Pat Mahomes had to throw to. And now Rashee Rice has gone down. I'm like,
They don't have that
is
much.
it really just
Yeah.
Xavier
Actually-
Worthy and Travis Kelce left?
That's it. Yeah.
And Pacheco's hurt.
Well, thankfully, they drafted Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
so
thank
you have
God.
to feature him, and Xavier Worthy has to
He's gonna
step
be their
up.
one. I mean, you got Juju
Fantasy-
back. Juju's back.
Fantasy owners of Xavier
Kareem
Worthy
Hunt looks
creamed
good.
in their pants when they saw
Kareem
that.
Hunt
Yeah.
actually looked good, 14 for 69.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
Definitely
it was
Cash's better picks, yeah,
Yeah,
projection,
shit,
for
I
sure.
knew I should have picked them up. Fucking idiot.
The Chiefs might need some receivers, though. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, do you think who are some receivers that you think the Chiefs could trade for at the deadline or start targeting based off of teams that have started slow?
I mean, we talked about it earlier. I think the perfect fit for the Chiefs is Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
You already saw this offseason. They're willing to
Yeah.
ship him off when the IU trade talks and stuff were going on. Deshaun Watson looks fucking awful. He's abysmal. He's a joke of a quarterback and a human. I feel like the Browns are going to start reeling really quick, and then eventually Amari Cooper's going to want out, and they're just going to trade him for like a 5th-round pick.
It's insane how quickly the Browns have fallen. Just quick point on that. Amari Cooper fits in there like a glove.
Perfect.
The obvious name that everyone has been floating around as a trade target is Devontae Adams, but there's
Raiders
no,
would never
yeah,
trade
there's
with the
no
Chiefs.
shot that they do that within the division, so that's not an option there.
Who else? I'm struggling to see the
DeAndre
slate.
Hopkins.
I mean, yeah,
potentially.
you always you
Ooh.
basically have to think of like
We saw
like
wait,
shitty
there were
teams.
rumors of that.
Like,
Yeah.
He was like he wanted to go to the Chiefs.
like you
He
basically
wouldn't,
just
but-
like the way I do this is when I'm trying to think of players that I can do here is just who
What
are
are
the
the
worst
standings
teams?
for the bad teams,
Like
yeah.
who are the worst teams and then what wide receivers are on these worst teams? Like could Calvin Ridley go from the Titans to the Chiefs? Probably not with that contract, but could like
Calvin really would be sick.
It would probably be DeAndre Hopkins out of all
yeah,
the
like
people on the
the
Titans.
older one or like I'm looking at the Jags, like a Gabe Davis
Christian
or
Kirk.
a Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
And then like you go over and you can't. Wow, the Rams are last in the NFC.
Let me see.
Well, let me ask you. Well, let me ask a question. Do you think the Chiefs need to trade for a wide receiver?
No, I mean look at last year. They won the Super Bowl.
But
and
Rashi was there.
yes, that's true.
So that's-
he was
And
a rookie.
Rashi was
He was a
coming into his,
stud.
at the end of
Yeah,
the year.
he
He
was.
was peaking. Like
Yes, yeah. I think they do need to add another piece to that offense.
at some point, like yes, you do have Patrick Mahomes, but you have to give him help. Like I know it's still you have Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy could be nice, but it's like
What was the prognosis on Pacheco?
6 to 8 weeks.
So he'll be back.
He will be back. The only issue is Andy Reid did say, I don't know for sure if he will be back this year.
Okay,
Now, that
so,
was like the initial prognosis.
That's
6 to 8
even more
weeks.
of the reason to go out and get some other piece. Like this offense was as balanced as it has been in a long time with all those different weapons for Mahomes to use, and now you've lost 2 of the top 3
when
weapons.
Rasheed Rice was looking like a borderline top 10 receiver before he got hurt.
Borderline,
too.
he
Yeah.
was a rock solid top 10 wide
I
receiver.
don't think this is going to happen at all. But if the Dolphins in the event were to continue to lose,
No.
it would not shock me.
see
I don't think Tyreek.
a
I actually
reunion?
don't know. I don't know. But someone said in our live stream Tyreek goes back. I don't
No.
think that's happening. I don't think the Dolphins ship out Jalen Waddle whatsoever. But I do think, given the situation in Miami, if they keep losing, like there's a chance. Like if it gets to a point where like you have to be a seller at some
Yeah.
point because it's just you're not capitalizing on your opportunities. I will say though, like Michael Thomas is still out there. If
Really?
if that
couldn't
interests
be
anyone.
a bad move just to give him a bone.
I don't know who else is fucking available, but Corey Davis. No, he retired.
No, but he did talk about coming back. The Jets almost brought
Hunter
him back in.
Renfro would be sick.
What about like Odell from the Rams?
Odell's
He's
on
on
the
the
Dolphins.
or not
He's
on the,
on the
not,
Dolphins,
sorry, on the
yeah.
Dolphins. But
No, they wouldn't.
but why? Like if
because
the Dol-
he's been on IR this whole time.
I
Like,
know.
it
I'm
just
saying
doesn't
like,
make
what if he
sense.
comes back, is healthy, and the Dolphins are now 1-5? Why not get a little something for Odell?
What about Chase Claypool?
Okay, I think he's.
Yeah, so we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. This injury
Yeah.
sucks for football fans and for the Chiefs. I love Rashee Rice. I had him in like 3 leagues last year. He
Wide
won me
receiver
2
one
leagues.
season.
You hate to see a guy who's having a clearly,
Career year.
ascending player, sick year, torn ACL. You just fucking hate to see it. But I don't
It's
feel
not
bad for the Chiefs.
confirmed, I think yet, but it's pretty. Yeah, it seems like it.
I don't feel bad for the Chiefs. I feel bad for Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I feel really badly. They'll be fine. They'll
They'll be
fine.
fucking
They'll
fine.
be
They'll
fine.
be in the AFC Championship.
If you have
game.
Xavier Worthy in fantasy,
You're feeling.
Yeah, I don't have a single piece of stock in Xavier Worthy, and that makes me not happy.
I don't mean to jump right to this game because there is a game I really want to talk about, but I do want to allow you to get your
My typical rant, yeah.
frustrations
Oh,
and your
yeah.
pain
Just
out.
go.
Pat, the Jets, man, what the fuck happened? What happened?
It
What's
was-
going on?
it
Let's
was-
just sit here in silence.
It was raining.
oh, Yeah.
No,
Weather.
we are. I don't, dude. I don't want to point fingers at Aaron Rodgers. He was under pressure the whole game. He was getting beat to hell all game. I'm not blaming him. I'm not gonna even blame the offense. I blame our head coaches. Is Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh. I don't even care to fucking learn how to say his name correctly because I want that bozo out of New York. He's a cheerleader on the sideline. He does nothing in terms of the X's and O's. And I think Jag made the point is like you can be a rah-rah leader of men type of head coach if you have great offensive and defensive coordinators, but his offensive coordinator is a fucking clown. Nathaniel Hackett is literally just Aaron Rodgers' buddy. Aaron Rodgers is the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett just offers suggestions, and then Aaron Rodgers does what he does at the line.
Well, Saleh's supposed to run the defense. The defense is good.
And the defense looked awesome. Bo Nix looked terrible. They made them look awful. But the most damning thing I got out of it was the false starts by the offensive line. And then Robert Saleh, after the game, when asked about it, said maybe Aaron Rodgers needs to tone down the cadence a little bit. And then Aaron Rodgers in the press conference, hearing that comment from Robert Saleh, goes, maybe we need to fucking hold guys accountable. That's what we should be doing instead of blaming you're a fucking professional offensive lineman. You need to know how to go on go. Yeah. You don't go when he goes, no, that's a fucking joke. He's not actually snapping it.
That was really good.
It's like, oh my God. It's just like no matter how hard we fucking try, we're still the goddamn Jets, the same old Jets. It's just we can't change it up. And then the one name I didn't bring up, and I'll bring us into this, was Breece Hall with 3 fucking yards on the ground. 3 yards
in a rain game where he's going to get
I need to like someone was discussing that. Let me just fact check before I start spewing on that. I'm pulling. Breece Hall stat line on the day. Yeah. 10 carries, 4 yards. My bad. Breece. My bad.
I didn't realize it was that.
My bad.
How many receiving yards?
Shit.
Who fucking cares? Is it time for fantasy owners of Breece Hall to consider trading him? With Braylon Allen stepping in and it being him clearly being a better runner than Breece Hall, and Breece Hall putting up a stinker like this, only had 4 yards on the ground, you have to imagine that backfield becomes more 50-50 than you thought going into the season.
Well, hold on. You're a fantasy nerd.
Yes.
You're a diehard Jets fan.
Yes.
You watch Jets fans more than anything,
yes.
And you have Breece Hall.
Yes.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm trading Breece Hall. I wanna trade Breece Hall.
Is there enough value out there right now?
There is.
I think you could get anyone in fantasy for Breece Hall.
He had a bad week, but he was RB5 coming into this week. He had 17, 25, 18. He scored a touchdown in the first 3 weeks. He's still one of the premier talents. But when you drafted Breece Hall, you drafted him at the 3, 4, 5 spot in most leagues.
Potentially be the RB1.
And you were thinking he's going to be their RB1. And then very quickly, Braylon Allen has established himself as a big piece of this offense and a major piece of that backfield. And Jets fans and football fans alike, I think you see him carrying the ball. He's clearly better at running the football than Breece Hall.
He has so much more burst.
At Wisconsin, though. This is not something out of the norm. The reason he dropped in the fucking draft makes no sense to me. And frankly,
was he not in the combine or something like that?
I think it was. He didn't run in the combine.
But the other part to it is like the Jets didn't even need him either. So from a fantasy perspective, here's what I'd say about Breece Hall is I think Breece is going to have blow-up games. I think Breece will be fine. He will be a top 12 running back. He will be an RB1 the whole season. The problem is you did not expect when you drafted Breece Hall for Braylon Allen to be in the picture.
You did not expect the fucking committee.
Exactly. You drafted him to be your workhorse back, your 3-down back that is going to be on a prolific offense. And what is he in right now? A committee, like you just said. Yeah. He is the 1A to a 1B. It is no longer 1 and 2. It is 1A, 1B. And you see that because when the Jets were on the 5, Braylon Allen had opportunities as well. It's not like we're just giving it straight to Breece.
It's very clear he's a better back in short yardage situations, Braylon Allen.
You can get an arm and a fucking leg for Breece. And if I am trading Breece Hall and I'm a team that might have 2 wins, right? If you're 3-0 or 3-1 or 4-0, I'm not moving Breece Hall, okay? Because he's going to have better days. But if I am trading Breece Hall and have 2 wins or less, I'm looking to get 2 pieces out of this, and I can get a really high-end pieces. I can get someone that's, like if I can get a Bijan Robinson and then a high-end wide receiver, a Marvin Harrison Jr., potentially.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to do that. Now, I'm not saying that someone is going to do that, and that's a very one-off scenario, but if I can get a high-end wide receiver and a running back who I think is going to have like a high floor, I'd be okay with that. I would.
I'm just going to like try to spitball some trades, like just completely off the dome. Right. I'll see as good as I can go here. Kenneth Walker and Terry McLaurin for Breece Hall.
If I have Breece Hall, I'm not taking it.
In a vacuum is tough.
Yeah, it's strictly vacuum. I know it's really hard, but
yeah,
I'm gonna keep Breece.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep Breece. But I do think let me just caveat that if Kenneth Walker is the guy that Zach Charbonnet was the first couple of weeks because obviously Kenneth Walker was out, then I don't mind that at all because I think Zach Charbonnet is a top 10 running back right now in fantasy. Obviously, he hasn't played yet, and Kenneth Walker's going to be back on Monday night. But
I'll be honest with you. I wasn't listening to a word you were saying. I was just trying to think of other
that's
trades.
fine. That's what's cool.
Give me James Cook and Chris Olave for Breece Hall.
That's such a good offer.
If I have Breece Hall, I'm probably taking that offer.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think I might do that as well because again, I think James Cook. I don't think the production from James Cook to Breece Hall is that different.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Olave is a guy that is still somewhat of a buy low candidate. He hasn't scored touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's been stopped in 3 straight weeks at the fucking 3-yard
He's
line.
had 2 back-to-back good weeks, just no touchdowns.
Exactly.
Okay, off the Saints train, Alvin Kamara for Breece Hall straight up.
No, I want Breece. I'm gonna take
I'd probably still keep Breece.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
me
take
too.
the youth.
All right, I think I'm all out.
All right,
but
that's
that was
fine.
a good exercise. I think it's just at the end of the day, you drafted Breece Hall to be a top 4 running back in fantasy football. You drafted him to get a no-brainer 20 touches per game.
And he's not going to be there.
And he's
not going to
get 20 touches, no-brainer.
20 points.
Yeah, you were thinking 20 points a game.
Yeah.
And as a Jets fan, I am super excited about this development. Because at the end of the day, what we now have is a dual-headed dominant backfield where we can keep both guys fresh all
spin zone.
season long.
Yeah,
No,
that's awesome.
Nice spin zone.
as a Breece Hall fantasy owner, I hate this, and I own him in 2 leagues, so I hate to see it. As a Jets fan, this is awesome. Breece Hall is definitely the better route running back. He's definitely the better pass catching back. He's a better all-around back, and he is a great runner. There's no questioning that. And now we have this other guy, Braylon Allen, who is a fucking excellent runner and a pretty good pass catcher. It's a great problem to have for the Jets. For fantasy owners, you're probably tweaking.
Yeah. No, I love Braylon Allen, though, man.
I love them both.
Sick.
I love them both.
He runs so fucking hard.
I need to make sure this is in the clip. Make sure this is in the clip. I still love Breece Hall with all my fucking heart for everything he's done over the last 2 years, everything he's going to do for the next 3 years. I love you, Breece Hall. I believe in you. I believe in the Jets. This
Clearly
was a really
not.
bad week.
No,
though.
you don't believe in him that much.
Not as a
if you're
fantasy
willing
owner.
to trade him.
As a fantasy owner, I'm unbiased.
I hate to keep going down the fantasy track because we might lose Jack, so we're gonna make this quick. But
Go.
and we're just gonna strictly go fantasy. I think there's an issue with Bijan Robinson, and I think Bijan Robinson might have been the worst pick in the first round of fantasy drafts. And I know everyone is going to go off and say CMC, well, he hasn't played, but the truth is CMC had an injury all fucking offseason. You should have had Jordan Mason. So CMC is the easy one. He was always going to be number 1. But a lot of people are projecting Bijan to be the RB1 overall. A lot of people are expecting Bijan to be this lethal fucking guy, and frankly, so was I. And I drank this fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I fell for it.
I still want to fall for it.
Yeah,
but the
I
truth
fell for
is,
it.
and I can't find the exact stat, but I think it's over the last 10 plus games. Could you find the stat? Could someone find the stat
I'm
about Brian
looking
Robinson?
at-
Because I can't find it.
Well, the stat I'm looking at is Tyler Algier having 8 carries and Bijan Robinson having 7, and Tyler Algier averaging 7.5 yards per carry and Bijan Robinson averaging 4.
There was a point
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
where Bijan Robinson and Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier both had 7 carries, and Tyler Algier had 60 plus rushing yards, and Bijan had 20 something.
Did he listen to what I just said? I don't think he did.
He
'cause
just said exactly.
No, but you said the exact stat line. I
Yeah.
was saying when it was literally 1-to-1 looking
Yeah.
at it with 7 carries and 7 carries. At one point it was third quarter or whatever
Okay,
it
I
was.
mean, I was one more
8 to
carry.
7.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
bad.
Did I fully miss that? Okay.
you did.
But
But-
this is crazy. Over their last 18 games
we
played. Now,
go.
this was prior
Here we
to
go.
today. So I actually think Brian Robinson would have more.
Bijan.
I think Brian Robinson would be better in fantasy right now over the last 18 games because he had a better day than
would
Bijan
be.
did because Bijan had a touchdown that was called back. Over the last 18 games played, Bijan Robinson 12.3 fantasy points per game. Brian Robinson 12.3 fantasy points per game. They have been
Damn.
the exact same player. We have just been projecting more, and maybe Bijan's not that guy. I saw also a stat with Bijan, and I'm going to find it, where it was saying essentially that Bijan, I think this didn't happen, but Bijan going into today, his goal line conversion was 4 of 15 in his career.
Oh my
That's
God.
At some point, when you have one of the most lethal offensive lines, and I know there's been injuries, maybe Bijan isn't the guy, and I still think he can be him. But maybe we've just been
What?
fucking attacking the
what
front
is
office
up?
and the coaching staff. Maybe he's not.
No, I think
Well,
the thing we're missing.
what's up with? Sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I said, what the fuck is up with Atlanta not being able to develop talent at all? Kyle
even-
Pitts, Drake London,
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, they have all these guys they picked in the top 10, and they've all been pretty shit.
I think the other thing we're missing here too is Tyler Allgeier's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think that's the other
He
thing
had
that we're
1,000
missing too.
yards his rookie year.
Yeah, like he's pretty freaking good. And then the other thing that fantasy owners always forget, myself included, is that they're playing football out there, not fantasy football.
Yeah.
So they don't give a fuck that Bijan Robinson's projected to be this bell cow back and be the number one.
If Tyler Allgeier's a good
If
pass
Tyler
protector,
Algier is blocking and he's getting good chunks of yardage on the ground,
he's going to play.
and then you also want to keep Bijan fresh for that drive in the fourth quarter when you need
Yeah.
him to be his freshest. You want him to be ready to play in that drive. So they're not gonna say, "Oh, this is our guy. We drafted him 4th overall. Everyone's drafting him 2nd overall in fantasy. Let's make sure he gets 20 touches a game so those fantasy owners are happy and we look smart for drafting him as high as we
Well,
did."
they won the game. They don't give
Yeah,
a fuck.
they won. They don't give a shit about Bijan Robinson's
Yeah.
stat line. We do. I have him in 2 leagues. I'm upset, but I'm the dumb dick that fell for what I just said not to.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is not to say that I want Bijan Robinson. I'm still going to try and trade for Bijan Robinson, but where he was drafted and where Saquon was drafted, who's the RB1 right now,
Yeah.
and yes, CMC's down, but there's a good case for Bijan being the worst pick in the first round right now, just given the first 4 weeks, and it sucks.
Outside of CMC. Yeah.
Tyreek's
Outside of
up there,
CMC.
too.
Also, fuck that jerk
Tyreek,
off.
But Tyreek, hold on, Tyreek's is because of his quarterback.
Yeah, it is.
That's-
yeah.
Yeah, fair.
But
fair.
it is. He's a bust because of that. So like,
Yeah.
it's kind
I'm
of sucks.
buying low.
Fuck that jerk off that spread the news that, and it might have been the Falcons head coach that I'm gonna feed Bijan Robinson. Like there was
That might have, yeah.
There was a murmur going around in the offseason that they were like, no, we know Bijan wasn't used appropriately
He's
last
gonna
year.
get
He's gonna get featured. That was the word I think they used.
Yeah.
That was the buzzword.
I remember hearing
he's
that,
gonna be
yeah.
featured, and I saw that and I was like, okay, sick. I'm taking him second. And
Took
now
him
I look-
second
now I look
overall?
stupid. Yeah, I think I might have in one league.
Yeah, no, Bijan, it just sucks. The Falcons, I mean, I got nothing from the Falcons-Saints game other than
don't
the
care.
fact that, like, I told you the Saints weren't going to be a fucking good team. You thought they were going to be a still good team
It's
after
the
going
Saints.
15 straight drives, scoring a touchdown? Are you high? I wasn't. I saw right through that,
That was
shit.
Yeah, you
that was
weren't
good
high
shit.
at
That
all.
was good take. Good take.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I feel like I have to apologize.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Let me sit up for this one. I just feel like I need to.
I think you should. Can I set like a 30-second timer, 45-second timer for an apology, or you want to just rip?
What do you want to do?
You to apologize, just like you have the floor.
Yeah, no, floor's yours. No timer needed.
Okay, yeah, it's not going to be that long. Yeah, so Vikings fans fucking ruined my trip to Europe. Yeah, I apologize. I was wrong on the Vikings. Shocker. Someone's prediction preseason was wrong. Oh,
Idiot.
my God. Wow, I had them
Stupid
going 0-7
fuck.
to start the season.
Stupid
Yeah,
idiot.
That was
you're
off. They're
casual,
4-0.
casual,
So,
you don't have the ball.
yeah, not a great prediction. I was wrong about the Vikings. The Vikings are a very, very, very good football team. However, I am not sold on them at all being super cool. Sorry, I can't talk.
What happened,
I'm just rattled. I'm also
Okay.
so tired. I'm still in
You're
Europe
great.
time.
You're
I
great.
think-
Yeah. However, I'm
only
not
midnight.
sold. However, I'm not sold on the Vikings being Super Bowl contenders in the slightest yet. I think that's pretty fair. Like, I think if you
Yeah, that's
really vibe checked Minnesota fans right now, and you're like, hey, I know y'all are 4-0. You look really good. It's also been 4 games. You think you're legitimately up there with like fucking Niners, Chiefs, like those type of teams that like I know the Vikings beat the Niners. I know you're about to say that.
They are up there. They
But
beat them.
like, let's be real. Like, are they on that tier yet? I don't think so necessarily. If they keep doing this all year long, then sure. But I don't think there's any way that they sustain this.
That might have been one of the worst apologies of all time for 2 reasons. One, didn't say sorry. Not one.
no,
No, you
I said
didn't.
I
The word
apologize.
you didn't say I'm sorry, Vikings fans. So could you do that for me real quick?
I'm sorry, Vikings fans. I was wrong. I apologize.
go.
So I
Actually,
said I
just
apologize.
drink out of
I didn't hear
Dolphins cup.
sorry.
That's
And then
great.
number 2, the whole apology ended with him being like, you guys are frauds.
No, I never said frauds.
You didn't say frauds, but you said you're pretenders, not a
so
contender.
I think
you said you're
I think-
pretenders, not
I
contenders.
I think they're a team that can win a playoff game or two. Not
So,
the whole
Pat,
thing.
you weren't here for like these last 2 years, but I'm actually going to steal a page out of Jack's book because I think. By the way, thank you for saying that. A lot of people had to come in, and I feel like you had to comment back all the times, like look at Jack, look at Jack, look at Jack, because I was the only one that
Adam was deflecting all blame.
absolutely 100%, not my fault. But I do think that the Vikings could be the Lions of last year, and you just said you don't trust what you're seeing with the Vikings. But
I still think they're the best team in the NFL right now.
you
I
think the
don't-
Vikings are the best team in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I think
Hard
right
to
now
say no.
it's pretty easily the Vikings.
The Vikings,
the
yeah.
best.
Yeah, hard to
But
say no.
did you not all last year say the only reason that I would pick against the Lions or that you're not trusting that you were on the Lions and I was not on the Lions, and you kept saying the only reason that you are not high on the Lions is because they're the Detroit Lions and it's a franchise thing? That's the same reason that you're not high on the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold, you're not believing what you're seeing. You think they're a good team right now, but you don't think that team can actually be the same team in the playoffs.
That was very rude to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
lump them in with the Detroit
the
Lions.
Vikings are not the Lions as a franchise.
You all last year said the only reason you think that. Are you not saying that because of Sam Darnold and because of who they've like?
I'm
what
saying
are
it
you
because
saying?
I'm saying it specifically because of Sam Darnold.
And
I'm
I
not saying it
disagree.
because of the franchise as a whole being fucking
It would
losers
be
like the
if
Lions
the
are.
Jets
But it's still one and the same.
No,
It's
it's,
still
no,
the
it's
same.
not.
The
'Cause if
Vikings are a
Jets were
successful
4-0, that would be
franchise.
a reasonable thing to say. If the Jets were 4-0 and you were like, I don't buy it because it's the Jets, that makes sense. The Vikings have been good
They
for
haven't
the
won
last 10 years.
They haven't won a Super Bowl, but the Vikings in our lifetime
Very
have been a
competitive
good
always.
team.
But it's the same
more
reason,
often than
But
not.
it's the same reason that the franchise
not
is one
the
thing. The
same.
Sam Darnold thing is why you're not believing it.
That's
I
it,
think,
yeah, it's Sam Darnold.
And
it's not the organization.
I think
okay,
that's super
I'm
fair.
taking the example of what he said is as to why you're not believing. It's the same reason you're not believing the Vikings. The Vikings are legit. Period.
Vikings are legit. No, he's making sense. I hear what he's saying. You're latching on to one thing about this team as your reason for not believing in them, and it's Sam Darnold. Adam last year, which one of you it was just because it's the Lions. I don't believe in the Lions.
Yeah.
And you're just basically saying, I don't believe that Sam Darnold is going to be an MVP candidate come week 18. And he probably won't be. But God damn it, is he going to make you eat your words in the
if
meantime?
the season ended today, he's the MVP.
The Minnesota Vikings have gone into Lambeau and beat the shit out of them. Whether they almost came back or not doesn't matter. Then they took care of They took care of San Francisco at home and beat the shit out of them. Well, no, actually, it was a close game. But they
no,
won,
the
and
score
it
was
felt-
not reflective. That game, they
was an
fucking
ass kicking,
manhandled
yeah.
us.
And then the Texans. They literally
kicking.
made the Texans look like a bottom 5 franchise.
Yeah.
So those are 3 incredible wins. And like you said, Pat, coming into the season, those are 3 of the top 10 teams in the preseason power rankings.
Listen, I'm not trying to discredit the Vikings in any sense or form. That's not. I think I'm saying what a lot of people are thinking, but are a little scared to say. Like, and it's so fun. I do love Minnesota, the Midwest, the Vikings fans. I love their people.
Let's go.
I was way late on that. But I love everything about the franchise. I need to see more of it still. It's.
But at what point do you not need to see more?
Like them playing in the Super Bowl.
No. If the Lions, if the Vikings start out
If the
7-2, what are you gonna do?
If the Vikings win 11, 12 games, I'll be like, all right, yeah.
Okay, let me throw this hypothetical
I
out to you
disagree.
guys.
You had them at 5 wins. If they win 10 plus games, that you should still. That's
Adam, I had
double
them
your-
at 5 wins, but for me to think that they're a Super Bowl contender, they have to win at least 12.
I didn't think the Lions were a
Here's
contender last
the
year.
hypothetical that should answer this question for you guys. Vikings are 13-4 at the end of the season. All right, this
Mm-hmm.
is the hypothetical. They're 13-4. They get a first round bye, and they're playing in the divisional round against the Niners. Are you betting on the Vikings? No fucking shot for me.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, not a chance.
So they quite literally can't show me anything for the rest of the season that will make me believe that they're Super Bowl contenders.
If that happens and they beat the Niners in the playoffs, yeah, I will be.
But then
so
let me
in on
flip
them
it. Let me
doing
flip
anything.
it. The Niners roll out. They're a lethal fucking team. Minnesota goes in the very same way as the Lions, right? They go in. Lions take care of business twice at home. They beat the Rams, and then they beat the Bucs. They go into San Francisco. Every single person is like, maybe they have a chance, but it's the Niners that are going to be in there. And what
think a lot
happens?
of people
The
are
Lions
like-
gave away that. The Lions
did
gave away
give
that
that
win.
game away.
Yeah.
I could very easily see the Vikings winning 1 or 2 playoff games and be like, maybe we got to take them seriously.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
You brought this up when we were doing the live stream tonight. I thought it was a really good question. Are this year's Vikings closer to the Dolphins of last year, where they started off really hot and then kind of fell apart towards the end, or the Lions of last year? I know you think the Lions. I think more closer to the Dolphins of last year. I don't know. What do you think?
I 100% think they're closer to the Dolphins. This the Vikings fans that follow us and hate us are gonna hate me right now. I don't believe in them yet. The team that comes into this season with as low of expectations as they did, and then you lose your rookie quarterback, replace him with a backup journeyman quarterback, and you have this insane 4-game run. Tape's gonna come out on the journeyman quarterback in your system, and there was a reason that people didn't believe in you. I don't know the Vikings roster up and down. I don't know the pieces they have on the defense that have made them as special as they've been. I know the pieces on offense, they're sick, but Sam Darnold's the quarterback. If at the end of this season they're 10-7, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we have seen right now. Geno Smith goes to Seattle, has a good season. Baker Mayfield gets revitalized, goes to Tampa, has a good year. We have seen right now that if you get to the right system, you can have a good season. Sam
can't
Darnold
believe
gets
it.
into the right system and looks fucking good.
Let's not compare Sam Darnold to Baker Mayfield, by the way, because Baker Mayfield won a fucking playoff game. He was nasty with the Browns. He had one bad year, and then Cleveland quit on him. That's what happened.
But they were both in Carolina, and what happened?
They're both in Carolina.
Sam Darnold was
They both
3-0.
looked like shit in Carolina.
Sam Darnold was 3-0.
And then he looked like shit, and then he got
I'm
benched.
just saying, like Sam Darnold, like he got to the right system, and just to tie a bow on it, I think that the Vikings, the reason the Vikings are even closer to the Lions and potentially even better, it's the defense. The Lions last year didn't have
Who's
a defense.
on their fucking defense, bro?
It doesn't
They
fucking
didn't
matter.
know anyone.
Doesn't matter. Okay,
Van
Brian
Ginkel.
Flores. He's their whole defense, and it's working.
Well, no, when you
I don't
when
know
you
their
have a
defense.
When you have a defense like that, you're going to be in every single game you ever play.
Every time
And
the
that's-
Patriots
that's
played, they had a
huge.
good defense. Brian Flores was there.
So
So,
you guys think a spread's up yet for the Jets Vikings
Also,
game next
Adam,
week?
by the way, that's
one
a
of the
good
reasons
spot.
they're not the same team as the Lions last year is that the Lions ended the year before last year really hot, and
Well, they
people had
started out 8-0.
no what
No, they didn't.
The Lions?
0-8.
Did they?
The Lions?
The Lions 2 years ago.
I'm saying last year.
No, okay. What I'm saying is last year, before last year, so 2 years ago, they ended that season, the 2022 season, really fucking hot.
Yes,
and
they
that's
carried
why
it
we
over.
believed in the Lions going into last year, and then they proved it to us during the season. Going into this year, we did not. No one believed
No one
that
was
the
even
Vikings
talking
were
about 'em, yeah.
going to do anything.
I just think people looked at Sam.
no one
Darnold,
talked about the
quarterback
Vikings as making a jump. People talked about.
I don't
the
know
Lions
about
like that
a
last
jump,
year.
but it's just like it's a carryover from Kirk Cousins in a way. Like I just think we ignored it. We were like JJ McCarthy, whatever. I don't need to
They
keep
lose
going down
Kirk
the rabbit
Cousins,
hole.
though, and
I think the Vikings are closer to the Lions. I don't think they're the Dolphins. The Dolphins
Yeah.
did not have a good defense
I-
last
I
year.
will
period.
say-
Vic Fangio. We're gonna go right into the Eagles next. Like Vic Fangio was terrible. The Dolphins defense was terrible. That's why they're not the fucking Dolphins of last year. They're closer to the Lions.
I just to put a ball on it, like actually at the end, I credit everything to Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's got to be put in the same conversation as a Sean McVay, a Kyle Shanahan, as like a top 5 coach in the NFL. Like I think he's a better coach than Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur gets way more props and credit and flowers. Kevin O'Connell is fucking awesome. He's one of the best head coaches in the league. And if they don't have him, if they have some random Joe Schmo out there leading their team, the Vikings are not doing
the
shit
system.
this year.
All right,
Yeah.
Jets Vikings. Vikings are -2.5. The game is in London.
but
Oh, come on, we were bowing it. Don't butt me. Just
well, it's to that point. It's to that point.
I'm hammering the Vikings.
they're -2.5 point favorites.
I'm nuking the
It's-
Vikings spread.
There's going to come a time where the Vikings are going to lose and people are going to try and victory lap. Saying like, I'm not saying that the Vikings are going to be fucking undefeated, but I do think that what I'm
Okay, what are you
seeing,
betting
I am,
next week?
I'm
I'm
believing
just
what I'm
asking for a
saying.
bet, man.
-2.
-2.5.
I'm going to take the. I'm going to.
It's a suspect line.
It is us, but I'm going to take the Vikings.
I'm taking the
I'm going to
Jets.
take the chance
I'm gonna take
because
the Jets.
what they
Rolling.
just.
On the ML.
But massive bounce back spot.
Massive.
It is.
Massive for the Jets.
Um,
Or I quit.
I like what I'm seeing with the Vikings. We were talking about head coaches, and we kind of touched on the Eagles a little bit. You think? I mean,
Yeah,
that game, Baker was fucking sick. I am not going to overreact to like the Eagles. I think their defense. The reason that the Eagles are bad are the defense, but they were so decimated off the offense side of the ball. And if you're losing a right tackle and you're losing your 2 best weapons, and I never thought I'd put Britton Covey in the fucking conversation, but he was damn good before he got hurt. They had no one. They were throwing to John fucking Ross.
yeah.
So
Okay. I mean,
Still in the NFL?
still, yeah, but still, if Jalen Hurts, like, if you're actually a talented elite level quarterback, you got to be able to.
But he might
make
not
up for
be.
that. Yeah, he's certainly not. But like, my opinion, like, and you can ask Ray about this too. Our coworker Ray, massive Eagles fan. Nick Sirianni should be fired. Like, and it doesn't even have to do with just this year so far, how they've been underwhelmed and the defense has been bad, all this shit. It goes all the way back to last year and the fucking crumble they had after the Niners put a beat down on them. Jalen Hurts has won like what 3 or 4 games in his last, I think it's like 12 or 13.
that's crazy. I didn't know.
I don't know the exact number. I'd have to look it up because that's just off the top of my head. I think it's
I
like
can try and look it up.
I want to say he's like 4-8 or 9 in his last 12 or 13.
That's not good.
And that's I mean, maybe Nick Sirianni looked really good because Shane Steichen was an amazing offensive coordinator and made Jalen Hurts in that offense look incredible. And now without him, I just feel like Sirianni has lost the team. They've lost any kind of aura or mojo or momentum they've had, and there needs to be a change. Like it's obviously way too early for the Eagles to fucking let go of Sirianni. We're 4 games into the season, but I don't think Sirianni is the guy. Think about it when a team wins a Super Bowl. This is the last thing I'll say on Sirianni.
He'll be an asshole if he raises the Lombardi.
If when you see a
dick.
team win the Super Bowl and the confetti's coming down and there's the whole team surrounding the coach lifting the Lombardi, do you see the Eagles doing that with Sirianni? Can you picture that in your head? Because I cannot.
I cannot.
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
they almost did it. So yeah,
I know I can't picture it with
that
Nick
was going to be my
Sirianni.
main point coming out of that is like Are you serious about this firing thing?
Yes, 100%.
I
don't
think
think
it's
so.
He
idiotic.
lost the
it's
team at the end of last year, and they have not built any momentum up this year.
Okay.
to
They
start
went
the
to a
season.
Super Bowl
I gotta layer these
2 seasons ago.
I gotta layer my thoughts because you started going into the Sirianni thing, and I think there's a better case to be made about the Jalen Hurts situation, who looks like he's regressed. And someone said this in our fucking live, but that someone, and I think there's value to this, that Jalen Hurts is Carson Wentz 2.0.
It's not the worst take.
It's not the worst take, but I think it's a little early.
Carson Wentz looked better at his peak.
I don't know. But, however, Jalen Hurts,
he did.
I just saw this stat, shout out to Barstool Philly that tweeted this out, but it said Jalen Hurts has every game this season with the turnover. He has 9 straight games with the turnover, 3 turnovers this season in the red zone, and 27 turnovers since the start of last season.
That's horrific.
We give shit to fucking Trevor Lawrence. We give shit to other quarterbacks. We are not holding Jalen Hurts to that same standard and not holding him
awful.
accountable
I don't
because
know
he was
why
in the
we're
MVP
not.
conversation. However, I am going to say this about the Eagles. I don't think Jalen Hurts deserves any merit to be in a top 10 conversation right now at
not even
whatsoever.
close.
However, I pin the Eagles' struggles on Vic Fangio and the defense. They are
also
so
on Jalen Hurts for being fucking terrible.
okay, but they're so decimated, and the same we just talked about with we talked about with the Ravens, we talked about the Bills. Like, if your identity is to do one thing and you can't do that at all, and you're just having to throw the whole game, and Jalen Hurts is not good at throwing the fucking ball, then you kind of suck. And then you compile that with a bad defense. The reason the Dolphins sucked last year wasn't just injuries. Vic Fangio was the problem. And if you ask other Eagles fans, that defense is terrible. Terrible. Baker Mayfield was the best quarterback in week 4 against the Eagles. So you take that defense, you have no A.J. Brown, you have no Devontae Smith, you have no Lane Johnson, who might be the best right tackle in football. It does not shock me that they were getting beat down. And I don't think Nick Sirianni's that issue.
What is Nick
That problem.
Sirianni's calling card? What did he do before he was the head coach of the Eagles? Because I feel like I remember him getting hired and being
Wasn't
like,
it
"Who is this?"
Indianapolis?
I want to say he was a
he was in
defensive
Indianapolis.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
almost
can fact check that. I'll
tell
kill
you.
the dead air as you're doing that. I still think the Eagles have a good enough roster all around to make noise. What was it?
He was with the Colts. He was the offensive coordinator,
Offensive
2018 to
coordinator,
2020.
shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like, where did he come from?
Dude,
I like the Eagles roster. Jalen Hurts, that stat line was damning that you just shared with us, Adam. That gives me no faith in him.
You watch him; he tries to play hero ball all the time, and it doesn't work.
I think if they could get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson healthy, and they're around 500 by the time those guys are healthy, I think they have a nice little team meeting. They have a nice little vibe check. They say, Jalen, stop playing hero ball. We have Saquon Barkley. Get him the ball. You're going to run the ball a little more. We're going to use you as a running quarterback a little more.
He's way better when he
We
actually
need
does
you to
that.
manage the game, get the ball in the hands of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. We don't need you to be an MVP quarterback. We need you to be a guy who plays within a system, plays smart, doesn't turn the ball over.
When
and
he
gets
did
first
that 2
downs.
years ago, he was an
exactly.
MVP
That's what he
level.
was
Yeah.
2 years ago. If he stays within himself, he still can be
Question
elite.
for
I
you,
think
though.
he's gotten too outside
When
of himself.
Saquon went to the Eagles, I feel like, I myself was feeling this, and I'm sure a lot of other people feel it, where he's not going to have to do too much because they have a great offensive line, and then they could get him going a little bit, and then they could take him out. Well, now if they have no other weapons, they're going to have to feed Saquon, and now we're back with the Giants where, like, that's where injuries happen. And I'm not rooting injuries, and Saquon's been sick, but we're in this revolving door.
I just don't think it's fair to cast a fire Nick Sirianni judgment on the Eagles yet when they have had all of their skill players outside of Saquon Barkley get hurt.
It doesn't have a ton to do with this year. It has to do with everything last year, the whole huge collapse
Well, I
of
think
being the best team in football and then like falling off. And this year they still don't look
They
like
haven't had a chance to get their
great
mojo
team.
yet. I'm telling you, mid-season
I
team
agree,
meeting
I
for
agree,
this
I agree.
squad, I would be scared to face them in the playoffs.
I
still.
also, like, you fire Vic Fangio midseason type, you do some sort of change. I think
that
the
dude's got to be
players
old.
respond to that.
That dude's got to be
Vic
real
Fangio.
old.
There's something about I'll never understand this. When a defensive coordinator is not calling plays from the sideline, I just don't fucking like you. And Vic Fangio stands up there, not talking to his players. He's got his other coordinators, there's guys in charge of
OCs
linebackers.
can be cool in the booth.
Yeah, I don't
OCs
mind
in
it
the
because
booth,
you
yeah.
can
I
see it
actually love
differently.
that take
you
out of you.
definitely can see it differently and
Yeah.
not be as emotional on the sideline. Defense is all emotion. It's getting you riled up. Vic Fangio's fat old ass is not getting you riled up. He sucks.
I like that take a lot. Defensive coordinators need to be on the sideline.
Yeah.
They got to fire up the troops.
So I'm not, and also to the point about Ray, last thing, and we'll move off the Eagles, is like, it's almost like we need fans like us who are from other teams to kind of be reasonable and objective. When you're a fan of a certain team, you're so emotional. It's the same with me with the Dolphins. It's the same with you with the Niners and the fucking Jets. Like, yes, we see it from a certain lens, but we also are like, scapegoat, blame you right away. And while there might be truth to that, I think we're way too emotional.
Yeah.
I don't think Nick Sirianni's the problem.
I don't if I think if you ask a lot of Eagles fans, they're gonna say that I'm in the right with this.
I think they're gonna say in order. I think they're gonna say 1 or 2 is either the defense and Jalen Hurts regressed. That's 1 and 2.
A lot are gonna say Sirianni.
I think it's because they don't want to blame Jalen Hurts yet. I think they still want to believe he's an elite quarterback.
Yeah, I think that 100% actually.
Well,
He has 3 wins in his last 10 games.
Jalen Hurts
3 and 7 his last
Randy's
10. There's
alive,
the
by
stat.
the way. Randy's alive. Hey,
Yeah,
Randy.
so Jalen Hurts is 3 and 10 in his, or 3 and 7 in his last 10.
That isn't good, folks. That's pretty bad.
You want to talk about a different quarterback in the NFC East?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of fun.
Yeah, let's talk about a good
Let's
one.
talk about
Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
That's what I was doing.
Oh.
No, I wasn't. Jayden Daniels is fucking sick.
Yeah, okay.
Right now, I could say Jayden Daniels is the top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Top 10?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll drink the juice.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
I mean, he's had 2 good games.
He's only had 2
two awesome games.
He's
2
had
of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
2 fun games.
Dude.
No. When
he's
I say fun, I'm like, that dude doesn't miss, or he's having fun, or he's he's rushing touchdowns.
He's completed like every fucking pass except for what, like 6 or 7 in
We
the last 2 weeks.
forget about how miserable the Commanders fans were. We literally, this franchise was terrible with Dan fucking Snyder.
Joke.
Like,
I'm so
laughed
happy
at.
for them.
Yeah, same.
This is
Yeah.
like I there's obviously the twang of jealousy and wish I was them, but to see an organization like that top to bottom, absolute dumpster fire, hasn't had a franchise quarterback in my lifetime. You had the RG3 flash in the pan. You had Kirk Cousins before he went to Minnesota, but you've never had a franchise guy. To see an organization like mine get a guy like that, it just makes you happy, and it gives me hope and belief that maybe one day it could happen to me.
Can we circle back to what
Congrats.
Jack said, though? Because, I feel like we brushed over him.
What did he
saying
say?
Jayden Daniels, top 10 quarterback.
Could be.
Right now?
Well,
Yeah, right now.
Well, hold on. This year for quarterbacks has been terrible.
All right,
they've literally
give me-
been bad.
give me-
You have
give me
Baker, that's
10
been good.
Give me 10 quarterbacks you'd rather have than Jayden Daniels right now.
Like,
Well,
so
can I pick? I could pick any quarterback
right now. Okay,
and
Pat
what
Mahomes.
system?
Just
they're-
the team they're on right
yeah,
now.
don't do the system shit, man.
Well, that's
Yeah.
so valid. What do
No,
you
it's
mean?
not.
No,
No,
Adam,
it's
we're
not.
saying that with the team they're on, with the players they have.
You can get this quarterback and input him into any system you want.
Okay.
Like,
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers. Still,
I don't know about Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna take Joe Burrow. I
I'm
think they have a
not.
terrible offensive line. I think their defense is fucking trash. And I think Zach Taylor's always been a terrible play
because
caller.
Washington's offensive line is so good.
No, they're not. But he's mobile.
exactly why you would want the guy who's mobile.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm still gonna take Joe Burrow over
I-
Jayden Daniels. You're not gonna take Joe Burrow
No,
over
I
fucking
would-
Jayden
I
Daniels.
would,
What
but
are we
it's-
doing
I
here?
would, but
Why
I
would
like
you-
it.
the Kool-Aid doesn't taste that
I
good.
also don't like that you put Joe Burrow right there. Like you
It's
like
just
Mahomes,
names.
Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
It's
Like,
just the names.
know.
Lamar next.
Lamar. Yes,
I also put Aaron Rodgers. You didn't even mention. You didn't even say thank
I
you.
would not right now.
really.
Doesn't look that good.
I'll still take Dak.
He still looks.
I will still take Dak. How's that?
Yeah, no, I got no
Sure.
problem with that. Would you take Sam Darnold over Jayden Daniels?
No.
Not a
Really?
chance.
No. Because what you've done in 1 year, in 4 games, in 2 games, really, and Sam Darnold's taken all this time to get here. Imagine if you built around Jayden Daniels.
Yeah,
I have
I'm
no
also
issue with
taking
that.
Brock Purdy over Jayden Daniels. You see that, man?
Attaboy.
Yeah, come on.
Yep.
Adam, if I told you Jayden Daniels
What?
threw 106 passes, how many do you think he completed?
I would say 72.
91.
87.
What?
What?
Wait, say that.
He's completed 87 out of 106 passes.
That is
This year?
That's his stat
What
line for the
percent
year.
is that?
I think it's 80. It's the best ever over.
82.1.
It's the best
Holy
ever through
Wait a
4
second.
games.
Jayden Daniels has the best completion percentage over the first 4 games?
Yeah, it's better than Tom
Ever.
Brady. Better than Tom Brady.
For an average of 8.5 yards per
All right, I'm
pass.
taking him over Mahomes.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Crazy.
That is actually bonkers. And he's scored. He hasn't punted in like 3 games.
Dude, and he's like a prolific runner, too.
Yeah, he's got those numbers as a passer, but he's also an insane running
So I was
quarterback.
gonna say, it was like,
Dude, he's
I
the
don't
best
remember him
quarterback in the
throwing
NFL. Sorry.
Clip it. Who is Pat?
Oh, okay, wait. I got other ones. CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I'm taking him over.
I think we're at 8.
The other thing that we also have to discuss whenever Jayden Daniels is going to be mentioned for the rest of time, the Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams right now, bro. Oh my God, they must be freaking out.
Bears fans gotta be fucking like. I
Because
don't know.
there was no way you were ever going to take Jayden Daniels over Caleb Williams. You had to take Caleb Williams. He was the generational talent.
God,
but
is
now
this-
here we are: is Jayden Daniels, Pat Mahomes, and Mitch Trubisky.
Or even the Deshaun Watson, bro.
I love it. It could be anyone. Pick it. Pick your poison.
It's the Bears, bro. They're my God. I have the
Okay, but let me
my
flip.
two
But let
best
me
friends are
let me
Bears
add a
fans.
caveat. Let me throw a variable. Let me throw a wrench in there. you put Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator there
Yeah.
in Chicago, and it's fucking
Oh.
Shane Waldron
Yeah.
in
Then Caleb Williams
Washington.
in the MVP
Yeah.
race.
Okay.
With those weapons and
Look at Kevin O'Connell. And
It's
Darnold.
literally I said that exact thing. It's what good organizations and bad organizations do. I guess the Commanders are a bad organization, but maybe they're figuring it out with new
Cliff
ownership.
Kingsbury is a good.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury
You have
is a
him
guy
with
that
the-
you want to bring in for your rookie quarterback. He's going to give you easy plays. He's going to let you throw the ball. He's going to trust
and
you.
you have a head coach that's been in the league forever.
Yeah,
like
it's just such a better situation over in Washington than it is in Chicago.
I'm just slightly. I am.
who would have thought we'd say that?
Yeah,
I
but
know.
but the thing was, Caleb Williams is. It's not just the OC. He is missing throws.
Bro,
left
I
and
saw-
right. That
I
DJ
showed-
He's
Moore
an
shit.
overthrow machine.
I don't know if you've seen any of the DJ Moore stuff.
He's not happy.
DJ Moore, they have said
pissed.
that for every, I think it's over the last 2 games, DJ Moore has not sat with the offense. And again, I'm just reading this on Twitter. Not sat with the offense, sits on the far right or the far left of the bench. Last one to get up, like just sulking nonstop. And it makes sense. DJ Moore was wide open for a fucking touchdown, and Caleb Williams.
And
fully
he
missed it.
committed to this franchise thinking that like Caleb's going to help me right now, and he's a rookie, so obviously it's growing pains. But
Also,
Yeah,
like, what a fucking crybaby bitch. Like, DJ Moore, get the fucking out there and sit next to your rookie quarterback. Give him confidence.
Yeah.
You sulking like a little baby.
It's
doesn't
actually
do
gonna make
anything.
your life
You
worse.
also just signed your giant extension for $150 million. It's not like he's thinking, oh, I'm not putting up big numbers. I'm not going to get that big contract. You have the big contract. Help out your rookie quarterback. When he overthrows you, say, hey, you got him next time, man. I'm going to sit right next to you. We're going to look at
You
it.
help
We're going
him
to
out,
get
it's
out there
gonna
and
help
figure
you
out
out.
how to do it.
When it's all said and done, you think Jayden Daniels or Caleb Williams has a better career?
Jayden Daniels.
I still think Caleb Williams.
I'll overreact to these 4 games. I feel so bad, and our Bears fans friends probably won't ever see this, but they're the fucking Bears, man. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
they
Bad
don't
franchises
have
stay bad
good
franchises,
quarterbacks.
yeah.
They're still that franchise. They're still the Bears. They figured out everything pretty and flashy with Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, DeAndre Swift. They got all those big fun names. DJ Moore to the extension, Caleb Williams. Your offensive line still fucking blows. Your head coach is a joke.
You can't run
Your
the fucking
offensive
football.
coordinator is a joke, and you're still the goddamn Bears.
Yeah.
I forgot what I had a great thought. And
You know what's so fun? What makes me immune too is like I say all this shit, and then they can
Oh, I
then
got
they're
that.
gonna yell at me about the Jets, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know, I'm the Jets.
I'm the
Yeah.
Jets.
Like,
The
I-
Jets
I've
are the
accepted
worst.
my fate.
if Trevor Lawrence never happened, I would say it's going to be Caleb. But at some point, with this highly touted prospect, this guy who has it all, maybe they just can't put it together in the NFL. And I think that's what Caleb could be. And so to answer that question that I posed, I'm going to say Jayden Daniels because it just feels like there is a high probability that given how Jaden's played, how efficient he's been in throwing the ball,
That's
And
insane.
you know-
maybe
what I
Caleb
love?
never puts it all together. And maybe Jayden is just Heisman guy, puts it together so
You know what I love about Jayden Daniels too is that he's just got like quiet aura. He doesn't have to like go out there and like tell you that he's that motherfucker. He just shows you. He just goes out there, balls the fuck out. He looks sick doing it, but he doesn't have to like toot his own
No,
horn
he
ever.
doesn't.
Like,
The other thing about Jayden Daniels too, I forget what the number was, but he started like 45 games in college.
Yeah.
Like, he started some absurd
Arizona
number of
State,
games.
LSU,
So
yeah.
he like, and then I think to what you said, just some guys have it in terms of the mental makeup to do it in the NFL.
he seems mentally strong.
And Caleb Williams,
Might be glass.
I think everyone knows it was the worst kept secret coming into the draft that Caleb Williams' character, leadership, all that jazz, he doesn't got it. He's
And
not
people are trying to say like, oh, he's already a great leader in the Bears clubhouse. It's like, well, he's the only guy that's going to play quarterback for you this year, so that would make sense that he's trying to do that.
Question for you though: Commanders are leading the NFC East right now. Pretenders, contenders, overrated,
Pretenders.
underrated, properly rated.
Pretenders
Fun.
because the defense I don't believe in.
I think what's going to be
But-
fun, they're going to be a fun team fighting for a playoff spot come the end of the year.
Yeah,
I think
frisky
they'll
wild
hover
card,
around
frisky wild card.
500.
In the
if-
hunt, in the
if
hunt.
the
I could see 7 seed.
if the standings fall their way, they could maybe make the playoffs, and that'd be sick. To wrap it up with the top 10 thing, Jayden Daniels is a top 10 quarterback, I think, this season,
Oh, Randy, what was the stat?
right now.
86 of 107.
It was
I
an
think it is.
82% completion
87
rate.
of 106.
That's
Yeah.
fucking disgusting.
Ridiculous.
He has 19 incompletions.
I mean, look, if you want to go, if you want to overreact, sure, but like, I think the quarterback play has just been bad to start. So yeah, we're gonna say that. But
which is almost like, yet he's balling out.
in 2 games, he wasn't great. He was
He
average.
didn't
for
have
2
any
games.
incompletions in
I
those
feel you.
first
No.
few games either.
19 incompletions in 4
Can we
games.
talk about incompletions?
What?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to give you have been so strongly opposed to who Trevor Lawrence could be, and I think we have to start having a conversation about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I was early on the Trevor Lawrence is a fraud train. I think a lot of people have joined me on that train
Give me the
in
take.
the last 4 months or so.
Give me the take.
I think Trevor Lawrence is a bust. Why are we not talking about Trevor Lawrence being a bust? He won one playoff game where the fucking Chargers and Brandon Staley blew a 24-point lead. Like, great for him on coming back, but that's also on Brandon Staley for being a fucking moron.
Yes.
Like, that's the only thing Trevor Lawrence has done in his career is get that one playoff win, and it was a sick comeback. It was an awesome game. Oh, my God.
So much money and got so drunk.
Yeah, but like after that, last year, what'd they do? They missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence played absolutely mediocre, average all season long. This season so far, he's got some weapons still in Jacksonville. He had weapons last year in Jacksonville too.
He's got good, great pieces.
He's
in
got
that
good
offense.
pieces around him, and he hasn't done shit. He's fucking 0-4.
Yeah.
He's 0-4. Jacoby Brissett has won a goddamn football game in 2024 with that shitty ass Patriots offense and weapons. And Trevor Lawrence is sitting here without one win.
Trevor Lawrence has lost 9 straight games.
Jeez,
Trevor
Louise.
Lawrence hasn't won a game in 308 days.
Jeez, Louise.
He's not a good quarterback. He's not an average quarterback. This dude is a bottom third of the league
Jack, I want you to
quarterback
say,
in the NFL.
I want you to say for the people what you said to me off air.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll say it right here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Jones' big contract was a better contract than the Trevor Lawrence one they just gave him. At least Daniel Jones has proven something to me. At least Daniel Jones has won a football game this year. At least he's had games where he's thrown for over 200-something yards and actually looked pretty fucking good the last couple of weeks. Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than fucking Trevor Lawrence at this point in their career.
Wow.
I don't think it's a terrible take. They're both. I think they both throw the football pretty similarly, and Daniel Jones can run.
It's not
Daniel Jones does not turn the ball over even close to as much as Trevor Lawrence.
It's not a terrible take. I think you made this graphic earlier in the year of doing a side-by-side of their career.
Let's look at it
45
again.
Games, and it was almost identical.
Yeah.
And I do think, like you said, and I was part of that crew that way overreacted to that comeback against the Chargers, and then they kept it kind of close against the Chiefs the next week. It wasn't.
you did.
It wasn't a blowout, and people were like, "Okay, Trevor Lawrence is taking that next step in the NFL."
I was ready to say last year that Trevor Lawrence was going to ascend to a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
I was ready to do that because I thought he was fucking sick in college. I was so ready.
Yep.
And now, the reality is the reality, man. He's just not a good NFL quarterback. Like
is that
you
really
swung and missed, Jacksonville.
I want to expose us for being who we are, which is not professional scouts by any means. So
No.
I don't know what I'm looking for, but I do know when a quarterback
Jacksonville
looks
did have
terrible.
a drop problem, but
he's not making the throws you need him to make in the moments
No.
you need him to. It's just like
he hasn't carried his team at all.
I couldn't watch a quarterback in college and say, "Oh, that guy's got the makeup to do it in the NFL." But I can watch NFL quarterbacks and say that guy doesn't look as good as the other guys, and
Yes.
he is paid like he's a top 10 guy and he's a bottom 10 guy.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Daniel Jones hasn't thrown a touchdown at MetLife in 635 days.
Jesus Christ.
Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
What was the other Daniel Jones stat from last week that everyone was talking
I don't
about?
know. He's just
I
ass.
think it was that he's thrown more pick sixes than he has touchdown passes since signing his contract.
That's
sound,
crazy.
yeah.
So it's
They
a
both
crazy.
suck. They
It's
both
a
suck.
yeah.
They both
The difference I think between the contracts is when that contract was signed. Across the nation, everyone's like, "That's the worst fucking contract ever. Why would you give that to Daniel
Yeah.
Jones?"
Now it looks fine.
Now it looks like they'll get out of it at some point. It looks okay. When Trevor Lawrence signed, everyone was like, "That's a great deal. You got your guy. You locked him in for long term. You're going to build around him."
I don't know if many
But-
people thought it was.
but-
It was a weird
Was it this year?
one.
But
Yeah.
with all
remember.
with,
Oh,
with,
yeah,
with
then
that
maybe
being
not.
said,
Maybe I lied.
I'm
Maybe I
gonna
lied.
I will say this and I will stand on this that Trevor Lawrence is going to go to another team at some point because franchises are bad franchises for a reason, and he is going to be the Trevor Lawrence that we all anticipated him to be. The same way
don't
that
think
Baker's
so.
taking
You
the
think
Bucks
he's
back
Sam
to the
Darnold,
promised
Baker,
land, the
Geno?
same way that Sam Darnold's taking the Vikings to this team, the same way Geno Smith can play.
It's not fucking fair, bro.
I
It's literally just some
genuinely believe
fucking
that
teams
bad
aren't meant to have fucking good
franchises-
quarterbacks.
Exactly. Bad franchises are bad franchises for a reason.
I'm one of them.
And frankly, it might be also the Dolphins, right? Like the
It is
Dolphins
you
might
too.
be just be a bad fucking franchise
It
and
is
can't
you
get
too.
anything fucking done. Trevor Lawrence is
You're
going to
a
go
worse
to
franchise
another
than me.
goddamn team, and he's going to be a gross goddamn quarterback, and we're all going to be laughing about it. It's ridiculous.
There you go.
Yep, that's how it works.
Was that like a vent sesh for you as well?
I just-
like, as
yeah, I just,
bad
like,
franchises
was
stay bad
just-
franchises.
yeah.
No, it's just not fair. It
It's
isn't
not fair.
It isn't
Someone
fair.
is going to get Trevor Lawrence for no money, and he is going to ball out because he has no confidence against the Bills. He was shaking out of fucking thin air. He's broken. Trevor Lawrence is broken right now.
Yeah.
I just hate being a Jets fan. Is really what this is.
I want to
reminding me
begin
of.
wrapping up the episode though.
Okay.
And I when I
I
was
didn't even. Let's give Jack a second. Sorry. Not.
ahead.
Niners.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, Brock looked good. Defense looked great. Yeah. Like I did spew a take out there on Twitter earlier today in the heat of the moment after the Fred Warner pick, which is it's not the worst take ever. I didn't get ratioed at all. Someone ratioed someone that tried to ratio me about it, so that was pretty fun.
That's good.
So not only is Fred Warner like easily the best. All right, sorry, I can't talk because it's a crazy take. It's a lot.
I think
all right.
No, I just think you're hearing yourself saying.
Oh,
You're
I think I know where
dumb.
you're going with this.
Yeah, he's about to say that Fred Warner's the best defensive player. If
Let me talk.
No, that's not what he's about to say. I know. Go ahead.
Yeah. Not only is Fred Warner the best defensive player in football, bar none, he's also the best player in football, period.
Fred Warner is not the best football player in the NFL.
Pat Mahomes is.
Right now, this year?
Patrick Mahomes.
Right now, this year?
That's
Pat Mahomes
what
is 4-0.
you're just already.
Pat
starting
Mahomes
to
has 9
throw
straight games
variables.
with a takeaway, and Fred Warner has 4 this year.
And yet he still has 2 back-to-back Super Bowls.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. That fucking Fred Warner doesn't throw passes.
I regret giving
Well,
Jack
maybe
the
he
floor.
should.
Yeah.
That was a stupid
no.
fucking take.
God, can you guys just hear me out at all? No, nothing?
All right, I'll give you 30 seconds. Why is Fred Warner the best player?
No, because you're not actually going to hear me out, so I'm not going to do
Okay,
it.
yeah, I wasn't anyways.
perfect.
Like,
Good job.
Fred Warner might be the best defensive player in football. I'll give you that.
is.
He's
He
the best
is.
middle linebacker in football. He's fucking unbelievable, and he can be unbelievable. And Patrick Mahomes can still be the best player in the fucking sport.
Just
all
because
right?
he plays the most valuable position does not mean he's better.
Of course it does,
Yes,
because
it
it's
does.
the hardest to play.
Yeah.
No.
That's the thing. Is that it's.
I know it's harder to play, but I'm
play.
just.
I mean, do
best
you want
player.
to try and
Did we
defend
miss
it?
any games?
Like,
I feel like there's a game.
yeah, I
we
want to talk
missed.
about Nico Collins.
Oh yeah.
I want to give you your flowers.
Yeah. I said at the beginning of the year, Nico Collins was clearly the number 1 guy in Houston, and he's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. And he might be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Might.
Yeah, Nico Collins is pretty firmly a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now.
No.
You have Justin Jefferson, you have Jamar Chase, you have Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
you have Tyreek Hill, you have Justin Jefferson, you have Nico Collins.
All right, you little fantasy whore.
No, I'm not.
Adam,
there's
I
a
mean,
guy.
he's
It's-
been
I'm not
awesome.
a
Okay,
fantasy
okay,
whore.
okay.
I'm a guy who sees like
I get
watching
it,
the
I
game
get it,
too.
but
Sorry,
if I'm-
Nico's more than just fast.
Yeah, like
Oh, you want to start this shit?
Oh, yeah.
No, you can't
Oh,
call me a
yeah.
fantasy. Like it's not a fantasy thing. It's like
If
when
you
the
put-
Texans need a big play, they go to
I'm
their
not. Hold
number
on, hold
1
on, hold on.
guy,
Nico Collins, top 10 wide receiver. Period.
top 5.
No.
Yes.
If you put every single one of those top 5 wide receivers, hands down, no doubt about it, in the exact same fucking system with the exact same amount of targets, with 2 other wide receivers that are taking attention away, they are going to produce the same way Nico Collins is. I'm
Devontae
not
Adams would be better. You know, I'm just thinking about
You
it
put
right now.
Amon-Ra in the same situation,
No,
running the
no,
same
different
shit.
type
I
of
think
receiver.
he- I
They are
think
totally-
Amon-Ra-
they are totally different
You're a
receivers.
fantasy slut
No,
now. They're
no,
they
you're
play
a
completely
fucking
different
fantasy slut.
positions.
They are completely different, but I'm just saying, you give them the targets, you have 2 other weapons to go to.
Nico
I hate to
Collins-
give him the targets rule too because he has to get fucking open in order to get targeted. He's not.
There's
He's not.
there's 2 other wide receivers there that are taking coverage away every time he's just somehow open. Nico Collins is unbelievable. But to say that Nico Collins is the top 5 wide receiver just because he started the fantasy fucking season hot, you're a prisoner of the moment.
No,
He's
I'm not.
disgusting. Just say he's top 10. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's top 5.
He's top 10.
He's better than
top
Jamar
5.
Chase.
Bro, he had his coming out party last
Jamar
year.
didn't have fucking T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd stealing fucking people away from him like you were just saying with Nico? He did. I'm just saying.
And,
If
and,
we
and,
can
and
make
after
the same
and
argument.
after and after like the first big Jamar Chase blow up year, did I ever put him in the top 5?
No, but this is the second year.
His second year. This
Okay.
is his establishment moment.
I
of
think
I'm fucking
Dude,
here.
Nico
And
Collins being a top 10 wide receiver, why do you have to be top 5? Tyreek Hill, Jettis, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra.
Nope.
No, not sorry. Take it back. AJ Brown,
No. I'll take Nico.
Devontae Adams. I'm gonna take Devontae.
I'll
Adams
take
over
Devontae.
Nico.
old.
No, if Devontae was on the Texans, he'd be going crazy, man. Like,
You can make a case for the 5, but I'm not.
There we go.
that's
I'm gonna
top
take-
five.
Boom, top 5. Why are we even
Bang.
yelling at each other? Sorry for the
why
people
did I-
listening.
Adam, you started like kicking
I
and
s-
stomping.
I screamed into the microphone.
why-
I think
I'm
I was
mi- why
matching.
am I
Was I
missing-
matching his energy or my energy?
Why am I missing?
I don't
the
know.
top
You
5?
guys just kept-
I'm missing because he was always
Jamar?
Amon-Ra was out.
Jamar.
Did I not say Jamar?
You did not.
Oh, Jamar's in there for sure. That's a 5.
But
That's
Nico
a 5.
Collins,
CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Jettis,
Ricky
Jamar Chase,
Pearsall.
Devontae Adams.
This went
That's
sideways
5
really
wide
quick
receivers.
because it was supposed to be a time to acknowledge me saying that Nico Collins was a top 10 wide receiver, and then I had to take it the next step and say top 5.
You didn't
because
have to do that.
I didn't have to do it,
You
but I
didn't
like
have
to
to do
be.
that.
I like to take it to the next level because I do think that he is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
I think. That's what I
Stand
believe.
on
That's my
business.
truth. That's
He's
my
a-
truth.
he's
Are
a
you
top-
denying my truth?
Yes, absolutely. He's a top 10
Stand on
wide
business,
receiver.
Pat.
He's a top 10 wide receiver, and that's awesome. And I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for you. That was a
Randy,
great
can you
take.
make sure to turn down my mic when I just scream directly into it because I'm sure you felt that in your eardrums, and I don't want.
But by the
people
way,
back
with
home
Stephon
to.
Diggs, how well he's playing, you can make the case that he's still in that top 6. So that's that. You got anything else off the top of your head you want to talk about?
I wish the Raiders would stop winning games so that Aiden O'Connell could take over. Doesn't look like that's going to happen soon because of it.
The Raiders might be sneaky competitive.
The Bears won. They beat the Rams, so they're 2-2.
Nice.
You can't take that away from them.
Cool. I'm not.
Caleb Williams made some throws when you needed
I was
to.
the only team on the Bears. Can I just revisit that quickly? Because when we were putting together the predictions episode, Derek said the only reason I'm taking the Bears is because of the line that Vegas set, which I'm not even smart enough to calculate the line that Vegas set, and that's why I'm going to take the Bears. Like, I just see the
That's why
fucking
he was
picks.
taking
No, if I was here, I would have picked the Bears too, just because it felt like the spot at home
but
against
Derek,
an injured Rams
Derek
team.
was saying to me that the
I know,
only
I
reason I
saw.
was taking the Bears is because of the fucking line. I'm like, dude,
No.
I don't even look at the line. That does nothing for me.
I do want a few more thoughts just because we did not touch a couple games. We briefly mentioned that Joe Flacco is better for
Oh, I
the
do
Colts
think
right
that.
now.
I do
Oh,
think
go.
so.
I want you to.
I mean, like the Colts, I think, and I saw actually a few people saying this prior to last week, but I think Joe Flacco is better for this Colts team than Anthony Richardson is right now. And it's not to say that Anthony Richardson can't take them to the promised land and can't be this lethal quarterback. It's that Anthony Richardson is going to make way too many mistakes and have way too many incompletions. And those are errors that you cannot afford when you have some talent on the team. Look, I think Anthony Richardson can be an amazing quarterback, but we saw what Joe Flacco did with the Cleveland Browns. We saw that they won a fucking playoff, or they lost a playoff game.
They went to the playoffs.
They went to the playoffs. They lost to the Texans. But I think Joe Flacco is not going to make as many mistakes as Anthony Richardson would, and I think Anthony Richardson needs to stop being so fucking aggressive. He throws the ball 1,600 miles an hour.
I think you're completely misreading what this Colts team is. They're not a let's win a Super Bowl this year
about to say the exact same
and
thing.
have Joe Flacco lead us to 10-7 and make the playoffs. This year is to
Find
have
out.
Anthony Richardson develop, find out if he can be
I
a
agree.
guy.
Yep.
So you saying though that Joe Flacco is better for this Colts team than Anthony Richardson
Can I-
right now?
can
It's just, no, you're not letting me finish.
You're right.
It's
I
just a
apologize.
completely ridiculous statement because this team is built around Anthony Richardson becoming a franchise quarterback and him not getting reps in right now when he started 18 games since high school. He needs every rep he can get right now.
This year is A-Rich's pseudo rookie season, right?
Yeah,
Because he barely
it's a
played
rookie
last year. So it's like, all right, yeah, maybe we can win more games with Joe Flacco
Definitely.
right now.
I think you
And the
definitely can.
whole
I agree with you
and
there.
the whole thing with the NFL is you got to win games, right? But you also spent high draft capital on this guy, Anthony Richardson, and you don't actually really know that much about him, what he can do in the league yet. This is your let's see what the fuck this kid's got in the league in every game this year. And if he's not the guy, great, you found it out. If he is the guy, great, you found it out.
He needs to make mistakes.
So we brought up, we started talking about Bijan Robinson because of the coaching staff and we're fantasy sluts and we would give him the ball and everything.
Quarterback's different.
At some point, as a head coach, you're going to get fired if you don't win games, period. I don't care what happens. You are going to get fired.
You're going to get fired if you don't develop your 5th overall quarterback.
By the way, I'm not saying Anthony Richardson is not the quarterback. I'm just saying that Jim Irsay is a guy that wants to win games. And if they lose games the same way the Browns can lose games because of Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson was having a sub 50% completion percentage. That's bad.
Yes.
Yes.
How do you get better?
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying I think right now the objective of the game is to win games. Anthony Richardson is going to be worse for them to win games than it would be for Joe Flacco.
So I disagree.
Period.
I don't think the objective is to win games at all costs.
I think the Colts know they're not winning a Super Bowl this year.
It's you're winning a Super Bowl maybe 2 years from now if Anthony Richardson
develops.
develops into
I
the
like
full
Anthony
thing
Richardson.
that
I
he
don't
can
want
be.
him to be benched. I'm just saying at some point it would not shock me if he's so bad and they can't win games because of him. And he, first of all, can't even stay healthy at all.
That's
He doesn't
the
know how to
bigger
slide.
underlying issue here
Then
too. Is his
you're
health.
going to have to look to Joe Flacco right now. That's it. You signed him for a reason.
I think
you signed him for a reason.
Look, I agree with you. I do think this Colts team would probably win more football games with Joe Flacco playing quarterback.
That's my point.
So totally fair point. But I immediately snapped at it because I was like, the whole point of this season is to find out what Anthony Richardson is. It's totally his rookie year. He had 4 games last year, and he had moments, and he had mistakes. And we're seeing the exact same thing this year. So it's a matter of making more of those moments and limiting those mistakes. And the only way you're going to do that is if he plays snaps.
Sure.
And to what you just said, too, is the most important thing. The biggest concerning thing is his lack of health. It's now the second year in a row that he played 3 games and got hurt. And you're not going to develop. You're not going to learn from the mistakes if you're not on the football field.
You have to play.
So the best ability is availability, and he has not been available yet.
And just to put a ball on that, I guess it's what the objective is. I see the objective as to win games. You say to develop Anthony Richardson, and that's why our points differ.
Yeah,
That's it.
yes, I agree. The one other game that we didn't mention at all was the Bengals and the Panthers. Do we care to mention anything? Give me
The
just high-level
Bengals did
thoughts.
what they were supposed to do, which is put up a shit ton of points on the Panthers and look good beating them.
Joe was
No.
so what?
Just go ahead.
Did you not see Joe? I thought for a second Joe Burrow was done. He limped off. He got
He
kicked in the
limped,
fucking
yeah,
knee.
yeah.
We were so close, and he's gonna pop up back on the injury report this week. Joe Burrow has
Loves
been
talking about people potentially getting injured. This kid.
what? He
A
got
fat
injured.
ass fell on his ankle.
He got.
Oh yeah, he stepped
Yeah.
right on
He
his ankle.
fully
But
got
he
injured.
came back like the next.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing
I
injury.
thought you were
got
gonna
played
say,
the whole
I
rest
thought
of
you
the
were gonna
game.
say Joe Burrow back is why I said no. But like
No.
throwing for 230 and two tudsies. And
What I was saying is we were really close to being like people talk about Tua can't stay healthy or other quarterback Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy. Like
Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Joe Burrow is firmly in there with
Yeah.
and it's shitty issues.
I love
Yeah,
the Bengals, man. I want them to do
I just
better.
don't care about that game at all.
I don't care about that game either.
Yeah, I really don't.
Good for Chase Brown. Breakout
I
game.
regret being a bitch and not putting more money on the Bengals spread. Like
I had a parlay. I'm just gonna quickly do it. I had a parlay which was Bengals Jamar anytime, with Jets to win and Breece anytime, with Jordan Mason and Niners anytime and to win,
Damn.
and 50 to win 500, and obviously
The Jets.
yeah, the Jets
ones.
cost me $600 today.
yeah, that's tough. Should we wrap up the podcast?
Yeah, I'm fucking
we
exhausted.
had a great episode. That
It
was
was a
fun.
good
That was
epi.
fun,
Good
yeah.
epi.
Dolphins, Titans, Seahawks, Lions predictions for tonight.
I got Titans, Lions.
I got Titans and Lions as well.
Okay.
Well, you're never gonna go against the Dolphins, so 17 and
well,
0.
we're undefeated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I generally Tyler Huntley 160 projection on
Less
better picks. What I will say, Jalen Waddle 36.5 receiving yards.
Less than.
What?
I don't like his. I like Tyreek's more than.
I took both.
Okay.
I took both of them.
For comms, I'm pretty sure his line was almost, or his projection was almost the exact same last week.
Tyreek's?
for
No,
for
Tyreek's.
Jalen Waddle, and he
No, it was
finished
40. It was 44. I
Well, he
believe.
finished with 26.
Yeah, well, I think Tyler Huntley's a better.
All right, let's wrap it up so I can go to bed.
The Indiana Hoosiers will make the college football playoff. I
go.
don't think you can get it 9-1 anymore, but that's what I got it at.
All right. Well, hey, we will see you Wednesday. Capeteer episode. Hopefully the Dolphins end up winning because I will be on suicide watch.
Suicide, I love
Suicide watch. I
Suicide
didn't even say that, but
watch.
that would have been fun.
That's good.
And yeah, make sure to download Better, play Better Picks. Use promo code CAPS off when you do. 1,000 extra money. We had someone 100x their money tonight. We live sweat it. That was a lot of fun. So make sure to.
Didn't even sweat actually.
I'm
It
having
was
back
actually really
spasms.
easy. We will see you Wednesday. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Caps Off is brought to you by Betr, starring Adam Spachnik, Jack Perotti, and this guy Pat right now, who we don't know if we're officially giving a seat to.
Cool.
Make sure to check out our socials at Caps Off Pod on Instagram and Caps Off Podcast on TikTok. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link in the description. And as always, be sure to download Betr and play Better Picks with promo code CAPSOFF to play the best daily fantasy football app on the market.